Here we go. Yes, sir. Welcome in. Welcome into the show. On a Wednesday, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team. I was thinking just a second ago as I was listening to the intro of this show, it's old. It probably needs to be updated. And I think, maybe we need some of these snazzy, what do you call them? Punchy little intros where they give us a name. They say like, he's the so-and-so and so-and-so of sports talk in Mississippi, right? Like, well, but what would that be? Other people they name themselves things. They give themselves, titles and names. Back in the old days, when Paul Feinbaum actually had a really good radio show. I mean, when it was in Birmingham, man, it was good. Okay, it was. And I remember his intro on the show used to say something like the leading opinion maker in college sports or something like that. So what could we put in there for me that would not only be catchy, but would be true? It's like the worldwide acronym. They call themselves the worldwide leader in sports. What would it be for us? Anyway, that's just one of those random thoughts. Here we go. Get in here on a Wednesday. You can be a part of it. Text me, call me, comment. If you're on the live stream over there on YouTube or Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, just type in a comment or post it. I'll be able to see it. It all pops up in one nice, neat column here on one of these mini screens in front of me. And you can be a part of the show that way. You can text me. That's a good way to do it. Get on in here. It's like sitting down at the table with us. Grab a mug. I'll pour you some hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. And join the conversation that way on the text line, the country pleasing text line at 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Like first text today, Humphreys County dog. The people's champion, Matt Wyatt. Okay, so that's on the table. Should we put that in a new intro and promos for this? What do you call them? What do they call those coming back from a break? Bumps, stingers? I don't even know anymore. Let's see. Jason says it should say the common dang sense guy of Mississippi sports ish talk. Emphasis on the ish. Okay. All right, but that's in. That's it. There's another suggestion right there. Okay, we're going to pile those up and see what we like. It's a whole lot easier to get other people's opinions on these things and suggestions as opposed to just coming up with it yourself. Nick texted the show, says that the new promo should say, the ornery old man with an affinity for sausage. Now that is catchy, if you ask me. Will texted in and said the guy that cannot get Beaver his Count Chocula, better known as Matt Wyatt. All those are on the table. Those are great suggestions too. We're gonna log all these and then see which ones we can maybe turn into new promos.
Well, we're not gonna depend on Jason in Flagstaff because the common dangs. Well, that's common sense in his brain, and I'm not letting Jason into this because you jabrones, you started this when you went. Judgy Matt Wyatt came out that time and said, "You don't know what you're watching." You came straight out of the jerk store and told people they don't know what they're watching.
We
and
did.
Super fan Jason out there took a break from telling me about the Arizona weather to be like, "You're right, Matt Wyatt. I love you. People don't know what they're watching."
Well, but Beaver, the thing is, though, I can't speak directly for Jason. He'd have to speak for himself. But for me, that's how I really felt, though, was that people didn't.
Well, Jason feels that way, too.
I know, but don't you want me to be honest?
Well, yeah.
See, that's the problem. is, sometimes you're honest and it backfires on you. Well, wouldn't I? Okay, but Beaver, I know we're not in a court of law here. Okay. But isn't it better for someone like me to be honest, even if it means I'm a jerk, than to lie about things and just cover it up just for the sake of not hurting anybody's feelings? I mean, you could go, if I word it that way. Yeah. I'll admit, I will 100% admit that at times I took it too far and maybe hurt some feelings that was not necessary about, you don't know what you're watching. And Jason agreed with me and we were in on that. And I still kind of feel that way, but I think I could have handled it better. Is that okay to say, Beav? I mean, can we just leave it at that I will admit maybe I should have handled it better?
Yeah, I'll let that.
Okay.
For now.
Okay. Well, and hey, and Beaver, what was that line you said? We were talking before the show about, what's all in the news again today and everything. And you said something. Oh, you can't escape it. That's what you said. You said, well, I guess you just can't escape it. Oh, let me say also too, you can call me, if you want to do like Beaver and really get on my case for talking down to people sometimes regarding football, feel free, get in here, let it rip. Sometimes I need to be talked down to. The phone's a good way to do it. The Junction phone line, Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Number to call the show, 897-1059. What it was is, on this show yesterday, right in Beaver's face, after he said, thank goodness you don't do a whole lot of this Lane Kiffin stuff, Matt. Right after that, we went for a solid 22 minutes on nothing but that topic. And it's just the way it worked out. And then Jake, Beaver, was it 100% Lane Kiffin on Jake's show, or was it just majority?
Majority.
All right. So you got an earful of it then. And the reason that Beaver and I were talking before the show, and he used the phrase, escape it. You cannot escape it. Is because, look, they got me. All right. So I searched college football out here on X every day before the show. And somebody I don't even know who, just had posted, Ole Miss fans, don't go to ESPN.com right now, acronym.com. Well, I'm not an Ole Miss fan, so I thought, well, what is this about? So I did. I went to ESPN.com. And on the front page, which I have not been to acronym.com homepage and I don't know how long. It's kind of like felt weird to do it again. So I went, and on the front page of their website, on the homepage of their website, the top two big block stories in the middle, not text, but accompanied with photos, are both of Lane Kiffin. The top one shows him smiling, like, at some point during a ball game or after or something like that, with his Ole Miss gear on. And the title under it is this: why we're about to find out if Al Davis was right about Lane Kiffin. I told Beaver about that. He was like, come on, that was 18 years ago. And he's right. It was at least that, or, whatever it was. And then right under that is a giant picture it's clickable, of Lane Kiffin and on one side of the screen and Stephen A. Smith on the other. And the title on this thing on their homepage is, quote, that man will be gone, exclamation point. Stephen A. says Kiffin has to leave Ole Miss. Okay. And that's on. And then I have to throw one more thing in there too, Beav, that I didn't have time to talk to you about before the show. But you go search college football. This is one of the many things that the algorithm will spit out at you. Beav, get this. Dan Wolken, who that's a blasphemy. I remember him. He used to write. He says he's writing for Yahoo Sports. So he posts a story today. And here's what it says on X, where he posts the story, Beaver. It says, if Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss in the next couple of weeks, could the College Football Playoff Committee snub the Rebels from the playoff? It says, according to their protocol, they could, and the Florida State precedent looms large. How about that? I mean, stories like that are so dumb. But, man, here we are. All right. But no. I don't have any new opinions on any of it. And so I'm not going to be going on and on about it like we did yesterday. But I will. Right off the bat, right off the top of the show, hit the train horn and throw it over to the junction phone, fueled by Prince Oil Company, where on line 1, Jason in Flagstaff is hanging on. What's up, Jason?
Oh, nothing much. You hear me all right?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah, that boy Beaver antagonized me just enough to make me call in and have to defend myself and you a tiny bit.
Okay. All right.
One, he has no business blaming you for they don't know what they're watching thing, because one, I kind of started that because I called in and we had a discussion about 5-6 minutes long about people always blaming the quarterback, and I brought up Ralph.
Yeah.
And I kind of led you there. And then some guy texted about Will Rogers, and then off you went and came out and said it outright.
Okay. All right.
So there's that. And then there are a whole lot of people that don't know what they're watching. Let's just be honest.
I feel the same way. I told people that's how I really feel about it.
I do too, especially when it's the same people. No matter what happens, it's always the quarterback's fault.
Yeah.
And they don't know what they're watching. I'm sorry. And it's not mean to say that.
Okay.
Hopefully somebody will listen and say, hey, that's me, and get some help.
But, the other side of that is
I
I doubt they ever do actually get help, but.
I do too. I mean, if you're that sure of yourself and it's always the quarterback, then you just want to be dumb. But maybe it'll help somebody. And if not, then they deserve to be insulted. Well, yeah. Anyway, what I meant by common sense when I sent that text was that you won't be doing the hot takey crap that everybody else is doing.
No. And hey, maybe I could even make a better living at it if I did, but I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, that's a whole lot of why this and Mr. Jake show, the only thing I really listen to anymore. I can't stand the hot take stuff. Fire this guy, fire that one, bench that one. Yeah. And I can't do it. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll get off here. Tell Chicken Hawk it's snowing here. So if he wants his snowman, he's more than welcome to come build one.
Okay. Snowing in Flagstaff. All right.
I'll hang up and listen. Y'all have a good one.
You too, Jason. Thanks for the call. He started it, Beaver. Not me.
Well, now what I'm going to do, though, is I'm just going to combine the two things then. And now the blame lies in you and Jason, because now the quote will be attributed to Jason as, you don't know what you're watching and you need help.
Get some therapy. Hey, maybe, Beaver, that might be something that could be like a whole brand new market, an untapped gold mine sort of market here in the U.S. And that is psychiatrists, psychologists, I don't know which one, I never know the difference, that therapists that specifically focus on sports fans. And that's what they market as. I'll help you. Down in the dumps, you always want to, because they won't fire the coach you want fired. Your team can't win. And it's affecting your work and your personal life at home. Come see me. That's what I specialize in. Beaver, that's not necessarily like a crazy thought.
No, it's not, because there are such thing as sports psychologists, but they work with the actual athletes, from what I understand. So sports fan psychologist.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. I think I could do that. I really do. Like what if it was like somebody, they didn't come sit down with you one-on-one. Maybe Beaver, they just pay a subscription and they get to, get a daily reminder from you every day. Remember that? I think it was from Mad TV way back in the day, where Bob Newhart played the character of a doctor that all he would do is tell people, like a psychiatrist, and all he would do is tell people to stop it. You might want to look that up. It's pretty good. I have this one lady goes in and says, I have this just, recurring fear every day. Anytime I'm out walking somewhere, that I'm afraid somebody's going to walk up behind me and put me in a box. I have this just terrible fear of getting put in a box. And he goes, okay, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. It's going to be really short. Are you listening? She said, yeah. He says, stop it. And it's just that over and over again. I can at least do that. Humphreys County Dog weighs in on what the new promos for the show might say. He says, if Chuck Oliver is the, quote, king of college football, I think you are fine dubbing yourself whatever you want to be. Right. Exactly. Now, let's say what I'm looking for. The reason I said it the way I did earlier is I'm looking for the truth. As you see it, like the bare bones, feet on the ground truth. What should it say? So king of college football would never say that because it's not true. All right. What should it say if it's true? Jim said Wyatt World of Sports. But see, that would be a title. I'm looking for sort of descriptions that should go into a promo. Jason texted the show and says, I think he's written a promo here. I think he's written one out. This is different Jason. This is Jason R., not Jason in Flagstaff. Welcome in wherever you are tuning in from. You're locked into the one place where the conversation never sleeps. Fish are never safe. Coffee's always hot. I like that. Fish aren't safe. Coffee's always hot. So the Matt White Show brings you the stories, the sound, the energy, the truth to power your day. Now, Jason R., tell the truth. Did you just throw that into chat GPT and you texted me whatever it spit out? Is that AI? J-Rock says, hey, Matt, I admit I don't know what I'm watching when I watch football. That's why I wait for Jason and Flagstaff to tell me what I was watching. Yeah, picking up your sarcasm there, J-Rock. But it is why you come to me, right? I'll tell you what you're watching. Bulldog Blitz text the show says, I wonder if Flagstaff Jason realizes how much of a blowhard know-it-all he portrays himself as. Dude didn't think Lemonis needed firing until O'Connor was hired. Well, okay, Blitz, but if he was on the late end of wanting Lemonis fired, you were on the earliest, and you're on the opposite end of the spectrum. The truth really lies somewhere in the middle, doesn't it? Moose Dog says the Bear Rebel fans might need that therapist. Yeah, depending on how it goes. Okay, I wondered if that's what was going on. Jason said, I admit the truth, I did. Put it in chat GPT. He added the stuff about the fish, though, and the truth deal. All right. Persistence pays off. And on the Junction phone line, we have the one and only Warren back with us on the Junction phone. Hey, Warren, what's up?
Hey, well, we got a penalty going on with you. So here's what Steven and I decided.
Okay.
That you were bad about the Count Chocula.
Okay.
Never got it for him. He needs a winter coat, and we can have the homecoming cream pick out something really fancy.
Okay.
For Beaver, and you have to pay for it.
Okay, a winter coat. You know, Beaver doesn't like to wear sleeves, though, ever, year round.
Well, ask him what he wants then. Maybe best.
Hey, you know what would be cool? Remember one of those, the old lumberjack vests, the sleeveless, it's like a winter vest with that fluffy down stuff sticking out of the edges of it, you know, and it's like a flannel vest, but it was sleeveless. We could do that.
I would like it. I don't know. Ask Beaver while we're
Okay.
on the phone.
All right. I'll ask Beaver. Like I'm picturing like the guy on the brawny paper towel package. Warren, thanks for the suggestion. Appreciate the call.
Okay.
We'll bounce it off Beaver, see what he thinks. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia blend. High Point Roasters coffee, New Albany, Mississippi. It is the best. Single origin from all over the world. Blends that they have come up with over the years are the oldest coffee roasters.
Worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you, rolling along on this Wednesday in the Bureau regarding things to put in the promo. Gene on Facebook said you could call it healthy snacking with Matt Wyatt. I like it, Gene. I like the way you think. Earlier, Sven in Berlin commented on YouTube. He said, Hail State, everyone. Dalton Lord, right-handed pitcher, flipped his commitment from Florida to Mississippi State. Said he is one of the top prospects in the country. 50 ranking by a perfect game. Considered one of the top 10 high school pitchers in next year's draft. Reported by Robbie Falk on 3 yesterday. Baseball, that's what I'm talking about. Need all those right-handed pitchers you can get. Sven also suggested you could put in there that simply call me the lucky husband of the homecoming queen. I like that now. Put that in there. What do you mean by this? Old Tackle said you could call me the bald eagle of Bulldogs. Brad says on Facebook that the lane train, I said, the lane train is holding out on the Bama job when they get beat in the Iron Bowl. Oh, you think Bama would bring out the hook? 3 losses, including the Iron Bowl, to lowly Auburn. They go ahead and bring out the hook, open up that Bama job, go get Lane. All right. So Jared says the difference is psychiatrists can prescribe medicine. All right. What Real C say? Real C on the country pleasing text line. Nationally known sports psychologist in Rankin County area, Walter Herberson, author of Mind Games. Been employed by state and others. Fun fact. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I want to read that book when I get time. Jason in Flagstaff did suggest the Matt White Show's Football for Dummies podcast. James from Amory says, I'm a bit late to the party, and if already asked, then sorry for asking again, but have you heard anything about some kind of meeting Monday regarding football and staff changes as far as defensive coordinator and such? No, I haven't. I haven't heard anything like that. I wonder about it. You've got to look. It's hard to go out and be the 16th out of 16 defense in the SEC in back-to-back years and not feel like you got to change something up. I mean, it's hard not to, really. And you say change something up. I mean, that could be anything. The first place you go to is personnel. And I have heard that, just like from year 1 to year 2, there was this big jump in money they were spending in the transfer portal to sort of shore up depth on the line of scrimmage and stuff. But still, it's only one cycle in the portal. And that here, which would be really for Levy, it would be last year was really his first full portal recruiting cycle because they didn't get to really the year before because of the timing. So last year was really portal cycle 1 for Levy. This upcoming after this year is going to be portal recruiting cycle 2, and that there's going to be a bunch of money poured into it to try to get linemen. I'd heard that. And the thing about it is though, too, like I'm telling you, I've heard that from some people that ought to know, but it's not like I've heard it right from an athletics director or a coach, and those guys would know more than anything else. And those guys generally aren't just going around talking about that kind of thing, but that would seem pretty obvious to me. So from a player standpoint, but I don't know, the opponents got tougher. The last couple of weeks, you're playing the two of the best rushing offenses in the country. And they really did just run over and through and around and just kind of make you look silly at times. And it does have to be better. It really has to be better. But no, I had not heard anything about actual meetings going on and talking about, changes and all that kind of stuff. Possum Neck Joe texts the show. He says, gee whiz, man. I'm standing by my truck under heavy attack from these ladybugs. Now I just had one of those nasty stink bugs fly right into my face. He says, I thought the end times were supposed to be the locusts. I know, but it's not just here. We were up there in Missouri this past weekend. They're everywhere. Those ladybugs are everywhere. There's a ladybug takeover going on. And Real Seed, thanks for the link. I'm going to check that out. Chris wants to know where the MHSA state championships are being held this year. Well, aren't they in Starkville? Isn't Davis Wade hosting them, or are they splitting it up?
Starkville.
So they're all in Starkville?
All in Starkville, December 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Okay. At Davis Wade Stadium, all of them. Okay.
Which allows me to slip in a programming note that all those games will be right here on the Zone 105.9.
Beav, that's how a pro does it. That's how a pro does it. And Beaver, I realize that on this show, you don't get a whole lot of pro segues thrown right into your lap, but that was excellent, sir. That was excellent. Okay, so is it one of those deals where Jake's going to be calling a bunch of those games again?
Yeah, so this man inserts himself into the play-by-play lineup. You've got people like Ben Ingram, who comes into town.
Okay.
Ben Ingram, Major League Baseball broadcaster, and excellent voices like Josh West and such. And then Jake Wimberly, he kind of schedules it, therefore he inserts himself. It's pretty disgusting.
Why are you
no one
picking
ever has the nards to say it, but it's pretty gross.
Why are you picking on Jake so hard today? What did he do to you yesterday?
Nothing yesterday. It's just overtime. These are just observations.
Okay. I think Jake does a great job. And here you are. Like, you drive over him, you put it in reverse, back up, drive over him again, babe. Jake's used to that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, looking forward to that. I may look for an opportunity to zip down there and watch some of it. Beaver, this is some information you didn't ask for, nor do you probably even care nor need, but I'm just going to tell you. The last time that those things were in Starkville. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. Maybe it was not the last time. One of the last times that those games were in Starkville at Davis Wade. I went down there to watch some of it. It seems, I can't remember, but it seems like maybe I called one or two of those games with 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 pay to tour the Ulysses S. Grant Presidential Library that they host on campus there. Here's a question, a very basic question I've never asked you, Beaver. Do you like history? Do you find it entertaining? Are you a history guy or no?
Certain, I guess we'll say
Okay.
topics in history.
Okay.
Like, I don't like, I know you're a big like Civil War guy and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that never interests me, but some areas of history.
Okay. So you wouldn't find the U.S. Grant Presidential Library interesting, maybe?
I don't think so.
Okay. What about Native American history?
No.
Indians and stuff.
You know what? Let's put my history. I'll follow history starting in. I don't think anything existed till 1920.
Okay.
So only give me like the last 105 years of history.
Okay.
Before that, not important.
Not important, he said. He said it's not important. Okay. All right. Yeah, I will say, though, what I remembered about that, you had the high school games. The stadium's so big, and so you could have actually pretty decent crowds there for some of the high schools, but the stadium would just kind of swallow them up. But it was also odd to be on State's campus to go watch football and have that experience of you can park anywhere, plenty of parking. It's not crowded. There's very little traffic. The students aren't there, all that stuff. And so it'll be fun. All right. A little bit of time left in hour one. Your texts, your comments coming up. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business.
outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to
Matt Wyatt, right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt. On the idea that, or the suggestion that, or the what if, it's really what it was, more what if. What if Auburn were to beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl and Bama would have 3 losses? Would it, let's say they get knocked out of the playoff. Would they fire the coach? And Bama's one of those places where, they'll react quickly and swiftly. Sven says on YouTube, Alabama will not come up with a $60 million buyout. Just forget this. It's nonsense. Said it's nonsense. G Bama Boy commented and said, we have $60 million, but we're not stupid. So, okay, having it and not having it is one thing. Having it and knowing when and how not to use it, right? I guess another thing. And regarding loving history, Hale State fan commented, said on the YouTube live stream, I enjoy history as long as we're not reminiscing about losses in MSU athletics. Hale State fan, my friend Philip Prince from Junction Delis, y'all have heard him on the show before. We're going to do that again soon. He saw the video on X. Somebody posted of the immaculate deflection when Artie Crosby had that field goal in the Egg Bowl in Jackson. He kicked it. It was in the south end there. He kicked it and the wind hit it and blew it back, Philip said, this is when I started being pessimistic. Just sit right here. He said he felt like God not only didn't answer his prayer, but threw it back at him. I didn't realize how funny that was when I read it until I said it out loud. Legba on YouTube says, after Florida, Texas, and this last weekend, I don't see any way Levy can keep his job. I guess we'll wait till next season to fire him during the season, I guess. Yeah, I don't think, those are the plans. And so he's not getting fired. Not now. Like there's not something of, okay, well, we're going to fire him. It's just a matter of when. It's just nothing like that going going on. Bulldog Blitz says the Asian lady beetles, ladybugs, are a legit issue. Says I swept up about 5 gallons of them last night and could easily sweep another 2 gallons halfway through today. Huge nuisance. Man, okay, I didn't realize we had that many. And, you know, I was in the metro area yesterday, but I was pretty much in the car and dipping in and out of places. And I live in North Mississippi, but 5 gallons, that's a whole different thing we're talking about there. Who eats them? Birds eat them. Where are the birds? RT had another way of describing the beaver picking on Jake thing that we've had a good bit of today. He took it further. I said something about beaver running over him. RT said beaver would put it in 4-wheel drive if he could, and power brake over Jake. In 4-wheel drive. Does Jake just takes it? Or beaver, does Jake ever snap back at you when you get that way with him? No? Jake is such a nice guy. No wonder everybody likes him. Joe Mailman says, whatever your new show title is, be sure that Little Debbie pays for all the past free advertising. Well, we're not changing the title. We're talking about promos that air and the little intros coming back in. Because I think I've had the same ones for about 5 years. John in Rolling Fork says, sounds like the cumulative effect of years of working with Jake are wearing on Beaver. See, that's what I'm worried about. Beav does not go around willy-nilly just letting it fly, snapping heads off. But, you know, it can be dangerous to internalize, to compartmentalize anger and rage. It can be very dangerous because then when it starts coming out, like you can't stop it. Maybe we need to see maybe we around here need to see sports psychologist. Humphreys County Dog texted the show and said, if Jackie Sherrill's family would have been flying across the South visiting other SEC campuses and towns, and the top news stories were that he was leaving for another job, do you think it would have distracted you and your team the week of the Egg Bowl? Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely it would have. No question. I mean, in that scenario, when I think about it from maybe the situation was different, but maybe not. See, and that's the thing, like Coach Sherrill, highly, highly, highly intelligent, really sharp guy. And he just would never do it that way. It just would never be, back in those days, it was just never be done that way. But I'm trying to think about it in the hypothetical you raised. It's reported media stuff. He's visiting multiple other places. His family's going, taking tours. Would it have distracted us as players? It wouldn't have mattered who we were playing that week. It would distract us. It would. I mean, to some degree. Maybe some less than others, but to some degree it would. Jason says that he accidentally listened to Mr. Jake and Will Kohlmeyer call a game last year. Said, leave him alone, Beaver. He's not that terrible. Then he said he was kidding. He really enjoyed it. He does a good job. All right. Unnamed texter says that Beaver needs to read some Shelby Foote. Beav, did you ever catch any of the Ken Burns Civil War documentary that came out, I think like early 90s, maybe when it came out? Have you ever caught it or parts of it? Because if you have, you've inevitably seen Shelby Foote. He's in all through it stuff. But he's a writer, and that's why they had him in there. And so our texter thinks you need to read some Shelby Foote. Nick texted the show. He did not pull any punches. He said, I can't wait until Coleman Hutzler is history. Tell us how you really feel, Nick. MSU 1980 on the show on the Country Pleasing text line. That's Country Pleasing sausage. I will admit I'm still eating some crawfish and pork flavored sausage. Crawfish and pork. You talk about make your kitchen smell good. You should cook that stuff in the morning. But MSU 1980 texted and said, Matt, while you were talking about the MHSA football playoffs being in Starkville, I just happened to be driving by the MHSA office in Clinton. And then y'all ran an ad for them. He said, odd coincidence. I noticed that too, that in the commercial break, right after we talked about it, there was an MHSAA commercial that aired. I think it's one of those, the happy little coincidences. James from Amory says, God frowned on us during the immaculate deflection, but he gave it back when Elijah Moore was penalized, forcing the long extra point, and they missed it. I mean, you talk about craziness. Never seen anything quite like that. See, but you can say what you want. Like they had athletes those years. See, but he was not the first Ole Miss player to pull that stunt under that same coach and coaching staff of going to the back of the end zone and pretending like you were hiking your leg like a dog. And they just, like a lot of mediocre bad teams, they had a whole bunch of players who were more worried about how they looked than actually whether or not the team, avoided a 15-yard penalty or not. And when you have that, you're going to do a bunch of dumb stuff and you're going to be undisciplined. See Arkansas this year, and you're going to lose games because of it. It's always been true, and it will always be true. Old School Ed texted, said, we had an early Thanksgiving meal this past weekend. I got smoked turkey breast from Country Meat Packers. Highway 49, Florence, Mississippi. He said everybody loved it. Relatives from Tennessee are going to order some online. 4 pounds of that smoked turkey breast feeds 12 to 15 people. All right. So, Ed, are they just calling them or are they going on the website? So the website would be countrypleasing.com. That is Country Meat Packers, Highway 49, Florence. But I guess, if you're in the listing area, you just go there. Because I'm telling you, when it comes time to eat, which is Thanksgiving, we know, you cannot imagine all the good stuff and cool stuff that you can get to eat at Country Meat Packers, Highway 49, Florence. You need to go see it if you haven't already. All right, we'll pick it up where we left off. Lots of texts, some comments to get to, and hour 2 coming up in just a bit here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille. It's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Eddie
Zip
Holcomb
intro-
with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much.
Here we go. At the Zone 1059.com.
Back with you. Hour number 2 of the show off and running. You can be a part of it. I hope you will be. I hope you'll be a part of the show. We're in this digital virtual world. That's where we are. So maybe we're not in person, face to face, sitting at the same table, but we can pretend, right? We can still communicate. It's kind of the same as plopping down at the table with me and Beeve and just jump right in the conversation. Give me your mug. I'll pour you some hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany. Get on in here. So the live stream, YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. Hey to y'all. Good to see you. Speaking of over there, Hail State fan, it's getting to be this time of year. Hail State fan said, my Edam cheese order from Mississippi State came today. I'll be having a grilled cheese sandwich tonight. How about that? Bring that on. Nobody raining on your parade, are they? All right. You can also text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number. 885-3776. And you can call me. That way I get to hear your voice. Other people get to hear your voice too, which is great. We're all sick and tired of my voice. I always do get a little tickled when people call in and they get mad at me for talking. That was yesterday, right? Tell Matt to quit talking. I need to talk. It's a talk show, but I get it. Stop making people wait. You can call me on the Junction phone line, 897-1059. All right. On the text line, Country Pleasing Sausage text line, Bulldog Blitz says, we have a barn dominium and ladybugs love places like that. Said mobile homes are magnets for him too. I mean, this man said he swept up 5 gallons of ladybugs. Man. I'm thinking like, they are a food source for something or somebody. Who's supposed to be eating these things? Jason in Flagstaff said spiders eat those Asian beetles, especially black widows. I'm sure other things do too, but saw that with my own eyes in a project he did for class a lifetime ago. Wouldn't birds take care of them though too? Maybe not. I don't know. All I have is questions. Okay, I tell you what. Hold that thought on the Country Pleasing text line. It's time for headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. So anything mortgage related, that'd be you buying a house or refinancing one. Go there. You'll be glad you did. It's just a phone call or look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. Headline number 1. Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders is going to make his first NFL start. Cleveland Browns are going to start Shedeur Sanders at QB in Sunday's road game against the Raiders. That's according to Coach Kevin Stefanski. He made that announcement today. Dylan Gabriel, the other rookie who was starting after they traded away Joe Flacco, remains in the NFL's concussion protocol. Now, I'm going to come back to this about this concussion protocol thing for these quarterbacks, but just hold on to that. Headline number 2, the Saints are releasing veteran receiver Brandon Cooks. Wow. You see that coming? Saints are releasing Brandon Cooks, according to a source today. He's going to become a free agent. He will become a free agent if he goes unclaimed on waivers after the move is made official today. He's 32 years old. He signed a 2-year deal worth $13 million back in March. Has not been a factor in the offense. 5th in the team on the team in receptions. And he had, incentives in that contract, they say, for receptions and touchdowns and playing time, receiving yards and all that kind of stuff. He hasn't hit any of those. So Brandon Cooks, happy trails. And this, which you I'm sure already knew, but here it is officially. Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin on Tuesday denied that he has been given an ultimatum from the Ole Miss administration about making a decision with his future with the Rebels. Kiffin said on the Pat McAfee show, quote, "That's absolutely not true. There has been no ultimatum, anything like that at all." And so I don't know where that came from. Like a lot of stuff that comes out there. Like I said, man. Who's it? Brick Tamlin? Man. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, we're having a blast. I love it here. Which is classic. It's mulling everybody else. They do the best they can to try to shut it all down, but you can't say never, because then you look like Nick Saban when you do leave. I mean, left the Dolphins. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be the coach at Alabama. And those are your headlines, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. Beaver and I were talking earlier, and he's 100% right. I totally agree. He said, all this stuff, it just makes me even more, feel like he's not going to leave. He said, watch all this stuff happen, and then he doesn't leave. And that's what I said. I said, the farther it goes, the more convinced I am that he's not leaving. He just, if you already look at it also, depending on who your candidates are at a place like Florida or LSU, the next school, without a shadow of any doubt whatsoever, that regardless of how good it goes or whatever for several years, at some point, you'll be the one dealing with this every year. You are. So I don't know. I kind of feel the same way. The longer it goes, this kind of stuff, the more it just looks like he's wound up staying there. MSU 1980 texted the show and said, "Man, I just tried some country pleasing crawfish and pork last week for the first time. Thought it was great. Man, I'm glad you liked it. I really am fond of it. The smell, the taste." Patches O'Houlihan says, "I believe that some people and networks keep harping on the Kiffin situation in hopes that it'll distract from their own team's problems. Keep the focus on someone else and off of you," it says. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe. That could be it, Patches. Jason in Flagstaff. Oh, we're talking about the ladybugs. Apparently we have a ladybug infestation. What time of year do we have the love bug infestation in central Mississippi? Is that in the spring? Yeah, it gets interesting around here. A couple times a year. Will says on YouTube, "Matt, I think that Lane wants to have his cake and eat it too. He's ready to move on, but wants to coach Ole Miss through the playoff." Well, naturally so, I would think. I don't know. I mean, I'm back to where I was yesterday. It's like, what do you want him to do? We're like, what's he supposed to say? Okay, let's just say that, maybe he's interested in looking around. Maybe the idea of going to Florida or going to LSU or something like that's kind of attractive, and you want to maybe position yourself to be able to take a look at it. But you're coaching. I mean, what choice do you have? You kind of bat it down as best you can, but you also don't want to go out here and just blatantly lie I have no interest, because if you do that, I have no interest whatsoever. I will not be leaving. I will be coaching here next year. Then you got two choices. Either stick to that and don't leave, and so you're not a liar. But, you're not going to say that if deep down there is a chance you may leave, and it. And it takes time, and there's a process. And this. Here's what you know. Without any doubt whatsoever, he wants to coach them through the end of the year and try to win the whole thing with them. Who wouldn't? And, that's kind of where I am on it. It's real clear what's going on, and there's nobody, I don't think anybody's to blame for any of it. It's just the way it is. It's not their fault Florida fired a coach in the middle of the year. Same thing with LSU. And I saw that. So James Franklin's now going to be the head coach at Virginia Tech. And Sven said Florida messed up big time not to hire him. They should have hired James Franklin at Florida. He did a really fine job at Vanderbilt. People forget that. But at Vanderbilt during a time not like Vanderbilt now, where you can pile up some Vanderbilt money and go buy yourself a pretty good football roster. When James Franklin was at Vandy, you couldn't do that. And he still did a really good job there. He hasn't forgotten how to coach. Will says on YouTube, if you don't think he'll leave, then that's your opinion. But I think Tennessee thought the same way at one time. Yeah. And Will, I sort of felt like I said this when Kiffin was hired at Ole Miss, that it seemed like they were getting him at the right time of his life too. Just more mature and kind of been through the ringer and made some really bad mistakes and was probably not going to make those mistakes again. And when he took the Ole Miss job, he seemed to be a little less interested in the rah-rah and the talk and the shenanigans and more interested in just coaching. And so maybe he's different now too, right? Sven says signing day is in December. Portal opens early January. Nobody's going to wait that long for Kiffin. Okay. All right. And I haven't previewed this, but I wonder what you were saying, because I thought about Scott Frost also. Will said Scott Frost coached that 2017 UCF team to a Cotton Bowl win over Auburn and a, air quotes here, national championship that they claimed after he had accepted the Nebraska job. He said, it's not like weird situations like this haven't happened before. You're exactly right. And I wondered, I was trying to remember a little bit ago the details of the Scott Frost thing. And I remember back then, Will, being impressed with him, the way he handled it. And I know he went to Nebraska and it failed. They didn't really get it off the ground. Okay, whatever. But it did not change the fact that I really appreciated the way he handled it. He was kind of public. Everybody knew that there was mutual interest. He played at Nebraska, and he was kind of one of the hot candidates out there because of what he was doing at UCF, and rightfully so. But he was kind of public about it. Yeah, listen, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting, but it was stuff like this, like publicly going, yeah, that's a place I'm really fond of, but under no circumstance do I have any plans not to coach this team through the end of the year. And then he goes and pretty quickly accepts the job, and they said it. He came out and said, we're coaching through the end of this thing. I'll be going there next year, but we're going to ride this thing to the end. And you can appreciate that because there's some honesty there. I did, regardless of how it worked at Nebraska for him. And Will also said he thinks that Franklin's going to be a great fit at Virginia Tech, and says he'll get the program back on track. So Sven, if I'm reading this right, let me make sure I'm reading it right. So what you're saying is the credit for the 2017 UCF team goes to Josh Heupel and not Scott Frost. Is that what you're saying? because Frost was the head coach, right? And Heupel was his OC. And when Frost left, then Heupel became the head coach at UCF. Isn't that how that worked? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he said Frost would never have been able to get them to a 13-0 season. We all saw in Nebraska. Well, there's a couple things about that. I mean, it's kind of a yes and no with me. One, who's on your staff and kind of how that develops is also a feather in the cap of the head coach. He's in control of that also. He didn't have someone else tell him, hey, Scott Frost is your offensive coordinator, whether you like it or not. No, he went and got him because he recognized, I'm sorry, not Scott Frost. He recognized what Josh Heupel had done. Who was it? Heupel had called plays at Missouri and maybe one other. But anyway, he does get credit for putting the staff together. And really, Sven, I think that's fine. There's no doubt that Heupel's offense and the way they ran it at UCF was a huge part of what that UCF team was under Scott Frost. But to say that, I think it's just short-sighted to say that because Frost didn't work out at Nebraska, that therefore he had nothing to do with the success at UCF. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's it. They didn't get much right in Lincoln. They showed it, but not anybody else has either, for the most part. Since Tom Osborne, and buddy, that's been a long time ago. A long time ago. RT texted the show and said, glad that Insane Lane is having a blast while the players and fans are reeling. Yeah. Listen, earlier in the show, someone asked me and said, Matt, okay, back in the 90s, let's say you were getting ready to play the Egg Bowl at State and your coach, Jackie Sherrill, is in the news and he's visiting this campus and his family's taking a tour to another school and all. Would it have been a distraction? That was the question. Would it have been a distraction? And I said, yeah, to some degree for each individual, there would be some degree of distraction, some less than others. But sure it would. And I just, under no circumstance would end the year and leading up to the end of the year would Coach Sherrill have done stuff like that. But you also have to remember, like, I can't imagine it because back then we didn't have social media, so it's hard to picture all that. Now's a different time. And it's also different when it comes to, as you say, players reeling because of this stuff. It's also different now, I think, for players. Most people would agree that it has across the board at college football, it has a look and feel of, they're not really playing for the love of the university per se. I mean, they love to play football. That's what players do. It's fun. It's some of the most fun you can have, especially when you're good at it, and having some success. It's just what you love to do. But the whole, school spirit, we're going to be here for 4 or 5 years. This is home thing. And how many of today's college football players that are, let's just say in 2025, playing at schools in 2025, what percentage of those are going to grow up and get their degrees there and go out and, marry a beautiful wife and have some beautiful kids and come back for homecoming for a 10-year reunion? How many? You see what I mean? So it's different now for players too. And I'm sure there's some distraction, but now all your players are getting paid to play and they know it. And it's not actually coming from the coach. I mean, the coach's job is to, run the program. That includes discipline and everything else, but put them in position to win. But the paychecks and their money's not coming from the coach. That's coming from somebody else associated with the school. So it's different now for players. You can go, well, they're reeling because their coach may leave. Well, heck, half these players know they can leave and go anywhere they want to. And I guarantee, I hate to put it this way, but you take a playoff team like Ole Miss, they got a whole bunch of guys on their team that are contributors and really good players, and fans love them and trying to get their autograph and all that kind of stuff. And I guarantee if you gave that player truth serum, Ole Miss is as good as any other program. Show me the money. And sure, you play for Lane, it gives you a chance. But it ain't like they got heartstrings tied down in Oxford. I hate to tell you. So it's different now, too. Sure, fans are reeling because they are the ones who do have the heartstrings tied down, who have been buying tickets and donating and supporting it, and who went to school there and have been coming back to homecoming every year, that they can. And, it's a home away from home type of place. But it's just not that way with your players. It's not. I'm not saying they're bad people at all. It has nothing to do with it. There's a lot of wonderful folks playing, kids. I don't want to call them kids. Young men. Really, a bunch of really good, fine young men playing college football. But it's different now. They know. I might be here next year, might not. We'll see. One school's kind of like all the others to me. Where can I play and have success and maybe bounce on up into the NFL? If this one can't do it, there's another one that can. And there's nothing to hold me back from going. That's just the way it is. All right, rolling along with you in hour 2. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille. It's andouille. And last but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s. Pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Let's see here. We got a lot of comments on this thing, as you might imagine. On YouTube, Bulldog, Mississippi, complete with cowbell profile picture there. Cool looking cowbell with the state baseball logo on it. Said Lane Kiffin isn't going anywhere. It's just a PR stunt, scam. It might be. It's a doggone good one if it is. Probably get him a big fat raise, make his agent some money. Awful. Hey, that's another thing. Hang on a minute. This is another angle on this, current state of affairs in college sports thing. Bulldog, Mississippi. Think about this. Oh, the irony. This is not just Ole Miss, be anywhere really. You'll find coaches who recognize that in the pay for play era, we have to pay players to come play for us. We have to pay them to come and play and stay for us. And so coaches will get involved in the messaging to the fan base to, hey, give us money. Give us the money because we need it. Because we need players, and I'm sure that would be some public messaging, but good and well the coaches behind the scenes too, when it comes to the right people and right conversations with people who have, a lot of money that they can use to just kind of go have fun and play with and, get a college player or two, quarterback, running back. I don't know. The coaches are talking to those. Hey man, this is the right guy. We got to have him. All right. And at the same time, come coaches openings, will their agent, that same coach's agent, who's telling that school, like, every dime we can get for football, we need it. At the same time, that coach's agent will stop one step short of just extorting that university for more money for the coach and himself. In other words, long way of saying, on the one hand, hey, we need money to spend on the team. And on the other hand, hey, give me money. Give me a raise. It's just business, baby. So we all understand what page we're on here. Bulldog, Mississippi went on to say that he's only going to leave Ole Miss for Texas or Alabama. And so that he's going to certainly show up for the Egg Bowl. He's just bamboozling and hoodwinking everyone right now. He's convinced that it is a Kiffin and Sexton scam. And it very well may be. But scam, again, it's business, right? So we might call it scam. And what they're trying to do is up the price. Get the most money you can get. Cowboy Ready texted the show and said, glad they didn't hire Franklin. So who? Florida? Why? Because you think that would have been trouble? You think he would have done well at Florida? White Denzel. Hey, Denzel, I don't know. Did you hear us talking about you yesterday? Recognizing that Union is undefeated. What is it, 10-0? Denzel says if Kiffin wants to win a natty, he'll leave. If he doesn't, he'll stay. James and Amory says, I don't care what Kiffin does. And as proud as we should all be to have representation in the college playoffs for the state of Mississippi, the Bulldog in me hopes they lose in the first round. He said, I don't know if I could take all the garbage insults they would spew our way if they win a natty. But who's they? Fans, random fans. Sticks and stones, James. Sticks and stones versus words. Possum Neck Joe. Now I've seen this before. I just don't think this can't be real. I think it's emotional take, but it can't be a real take, can it? Possum Neck Joe says, I would have already shown Kiffin the door. At this point, a good lawyer could probably get Kiffin fired with cause for dereliction of duty. Punch back, Ole Miss, he says. See, not really. It's not like he's missed practice. And you say you would have already shown him the door. Not really. You wouldn't. I mean, he's coaching you to potentially to your best season ever. And it's already one of your best ever. And you're not going to show him the door just because there's interest in him. And, you think he may have some interest the other way. It just can't work that way. But, again, think about some things we brought up recently, Joe. 2 points. One, every potential hire, if he does leave. I mean, if you're Ole Miss and you're Keith Carter, you do have to operate on the idea that it's possible he does leave. Well, if he does, you got to make a hire. And every potential candidate out there is watching how you handle this guy that's having success because there's interest in him from other schools. You know what I mean? And so who's going to want to come coach for you if you're willing to go out here and say, hit the bricks, Kiffin, we don't want you anymore. See ya. It's just not even reality. And the other side of it too that you have to think of is Kiffin's lawyer, lawyer, but Kiffin's agent is everybody else's agent for the most part. Not every single one, but the majority. Again, so the majority of the candidates that you would be interested in if Kiffin leaves, which he might, you have to operate on the idea that he might. And his agent's representing half the guys or more that you'd want to talk to on the other end. So it doesn't work that way. So I've seen that, and we heard it. Somebody called in a couple of weeks ago and brought that up, but it just doesn't work that way. Rebel Tiger Dog text the show and says, I feel the same way about Kiffin as I do an Asian ladybugs. Oh, the Asian ladybugs. Tired of them. Tired of them. Denzel said, Franklin is a better fit at Virginia Tech than Florida. You think so? Florida plays way too many big games. We all know big games in Florida is Franklin's kryptonite. Well, maybe so. Maybe so. All right, over to the Junction phone line. Junction delis across the state of Mississippi. On line one, it's DJ. Thanks for calling, DJ. What's up?
Hey, Matt. Just, didn't go pick up my grandson. I thought I'd give you a call, but I just want to go back in time a little bit. I know you may or may not remember, but in 1998, Nick Saban had got Michigan State higher than they had been in years. In fact, they beat my number one Ohio State Buckeyes and probably cost us a national championship because that was one of the best Ohio State teams. And, Michigan State tried to lock Saban down, but Saban was looking at the same thing that Lane's looking at. He was never going to win a national championship at Michigan State. So guess what? LSU, the rest is history. Now, let me ask you this. Had Nick Saban stayed at Michigan State, do you think he would have been recognized as the greatest coach of all time?
Oh boy. I mean, well, it's impossible to say, but almost default answer is no. He probably wouldn't have been.
Well, and I think that is the crossroads Kiffin is at. 'Cause, look, I'm an Ohio State fan. I actually have a degree from Mississippi State, so my allegiance in state is definitely Mississippi State, and I'm not an Ole Miss fan. Let's get that out there. And I told you yesterday where I thought he was going. Now back to James Franklin. And I'm going to tell you this. I keep up with Big Ten football because it's not Ohio State game I miss.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, saying Franklin can't win a big – and I know that wasn't you. That's what fans are saying. Can't win a big game. Last year, he got to the Final Four. Okay, so he obviously won some big games. And, Matt, to say Franklin can't win the big game is like saying someone that coached between 2015 and 2022 and couldn't beat Georgia and Alabama couldn't win a big game. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because the only teams he couldn't beat was Michigan and Ohio State. And how many great coaches in the SEC during that 10-year span couldn't beat Georgia and Alabama? You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
I think he's a heck of a coach. He proved it at Vanderbilt. He proved it at Penn State. But the thing is, I mean, and there again, like I said, I don't know. I don't know the dynamics of Virginia Tech. I don't know if they'll get the resources he had at Penn State. But I think he's a heck of a football coach. And the thing is, what happened? Have you ever seen a team fall apart like Penn State did this year?
No,
I can't recall.
I can't recall. Not maybe to that extent and at that level. Not sure that I have. Yeah, it was odd.
I mean, my dad was an old football coach, and he used to tell me this, and you may or may not agree with him, but he said the difference between a 10-1 team and a 1-10 team is great. But he said the difference between 7-3 and 3-7 is a little momentum.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe that.
Yeah. No, I could absolutely agree with that. Sure, I could. Yeah, absolutely. I could agree with that. It's interesting.
Well, anyway, love your show, Matt. Thanks for letting me be a small part of it.
Thanks, DJ. Thanks for the call. Call me anytime. Good to hear from you. On the Junction phone line, Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil. Pull up to the pump, fuel in your tank, go inside, it'll fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. Back after this.
At C-Spire, we've never waited on the future. We've built it.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New.
And tell him what you think right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right. Back with you. A little bit of time left. What did RT send me here? RT on the Country Pleasing text line said, I feel like the engineer of the lane train got off at the last stop. All the players and fans aboard about to crash. Also hope his dog Juice takes a dump on the Tiger logo in Death Valley. Come on, RT. What are you mad about? All right, this has gone far enough. We got to talk to B. Come in, Beaver. Come in, Beaver.
Here.
You keep looking up there, buddy. Over and out. Beaver, you haven't had a soft drink, carbonated drink, soda / Coke or anything like that in how many years?
Let's see. March 1st, 2009. So 16 and a half years.
Man, 16 and a half years. Attaboy. Today is National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day. And so prior to 16 and a half years ago, what was the last one you had? What was it?
Mountain Dew.
So real deal Mountain Dew, not the diet or anything.
No, it was the Mountain Dew. It was from a soda dispenser at a casino in Biloxi.
Wow. Okay. On this note, B, how's the machine doing in there in the break room? Is it? How's that thing? They got it fixed? What was it? They had?
The coffee.
Do what?
The coffee machine?
No, I'm talking about the drink machine in there in the break room.
Oh, that stupid thing that's been sitting there that first off hasn't worked properly in 3 years. And for the past 3 months has had a sign on it that says, do not plug this back in. Electrical fire danger. Yet we still have it. No, it's not fixed. It's still just sitting there.
This thing will start a fire. Whatever you do, do not plug it in. Oh, Beav, but whenever I see that kind of stuff, you know what it immediately makes me do? I start tracking it back in my head going, well, what happened? Beav, something had to have happened.
Yeah.
For someone to know that this thing, while plugged in, will burst into flames. What led to that?
So a couple of people, I think Jake was one of them. I think Jake, and it may have been Rob J, because he comes up here early morning to record his show on Kixie a lot.
Uh-huh.
I think it was those two, but yeah, they both told me they were like same account. I came in here and I smelled something real weird. And I don't remember if the thing was sparking or it was bad enough though to produce a smell that you knew something bad was going on and was about to go on if it got worse.
Right. I'm off of them. Beef.
Really?
Yeah, I'm off of them. I've done this before. I did it one time, went for maybe a couple of years, maybe close to 3 years. And then I got back on them at some point. And so I'm not someone who can do the moderation thing, Beav, and go, okay, I'm going to limit myself to 2, Diet Dr. Peppers in a can, 12-ounce can a week, 2 a week. And then I can't, it's either 0 or just don't worry about it. I have to either be, I don't care at all. I'll have as many as I want, or I won't have any at all. You see what I mean? And so now I'm going with the any at all. And I have to admit this, Beaver, already, like 2 weeks into it, I feel better. I'm not trying to put a dent in anybody's business out there selling carbonated drinks, but just maybe it's just a detox. But 2 weeks in, just drinking nothing but water and coffee, the occasional like orange juice or something, mostly just a lot of water, I already feel better. I don't know. Maybe it's a placebo. I don't think it is. Placebo.
I don't think it is, Matt Wyatt, because just last month, and I've done this one other time last summer, and I felt the same way. So last month, I went 8 days. It's like both times I've done this, it only lasted 8 days. It's like a mental block. I couldn't make it past 8 days.
Yeah.
But just last month, I had an 8-day span where I literally, in that 8 days, ingested 0 carbs. No carbs, no sugars. And I felt so much better. So I don't think your brain is just making it up. It's got to be real.
It's real. No, it is real. And it's actually hard to describe it. The feeling like, well, you feel better. What do you mean feel better? Well, that's kind of hard to describe. It's like, I don't know, it's better. Hey, there's one more on here, Beav, I wanted to throw at you. Today, November the 19th, is National Play Monopoly Day. Now, if it's been 16 and a half years since you had a carbonated drink, how many years since you played Monopoly?
20.
Woo!
It was the night Hurricane Katrina hit and knocked the power out at our house. Yeah. So me and Big L and Little C, we passed the time by playing Monopoly by candlelight.
My goodness, what a memory. And that was the last time, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Whenever I think of Monopoly, however the reference is and whatever it is, whenever Monopoly comes up, this is what I think of, Bieber. The man who scammed McDonald's Monopoly.
Yes. Matt Wyatt. Yes. Did you ever watch that documentary?
Didn't want to, but didn't.
Oh my goodness. And it's so funny that you mentioned this because it was very recently. I'm talking, maybe it was in October, because it's been this football season, because I was sitting on Saints Bros couch and they were showing commercials for McDonald's. They were announcing Monopoly is back. And I was sitting there literally thinking, how in the world can anybody trust that?
Right.
If they ever watched that documentary or even read about it, exactly what happened.
Yep. Jerry Jacobson, a security official for the company, that would be for McDonald's, that ran the promotion. He stole high-value game pieces, sold them to a network of associates for over a decade. He and over 50 others were convicted of mail fraud after an FBI investigation, and Jacobson pled guilty and served 3 years in prison for a scheme that defrauded McDonald's of an estimated $24 million. How did the FBI find out? An anonymous tip. Jerry Jacobson. From 1989 until 2001, he stole winning game pieces, sold them to a group of friends, family, and associates. He would charge, he would charge as much as $50,000 for a winning $1 million piece. The FBI received an anonymous tip that revealed that several of the winners were related, leading to an investigation that uncovered Jacobson's large-scale fraud. Pled guilty in the HBO documentary series McMillions. What a name. Beeve, come up with a better name for a documentary than that.
Can't.
McMillions on HBO. I really want to go look at it.
That man literally stole my childhood, because there was a time, I remember mid-90s, 95 and 96 specifically.
Yeah.
There was a time there when, let's see, I was 12 and 13 at that point. And there was a time there where pretty much every Saturday morning, me and my parents would go eat breakfast at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that Monopoly game, I loved it. I wanted the pieces. I was like, I want to come back. I want to come here more. I want to come here more than once a week. I wanted so bad to collect them. And I really thought, had a chance. And then fast forward to this story.
Yeah. And all the while, you didn't have a chance, Beef.
No.
You didn't have a chance. And not the chance you thought you had. He scammed you and everybody else. Hey, but he spent 3 years in jail. That's enough, don't you think? I'm not so sure. Jason in Flagstaff texted and said, I used to be addicted to Mountain Dew until I got a $5,000 dentist bill because of that stuff, eating the enamel off of my front teeth. He said that ought to come with a Surgeon General's warning like tobacco. Good stuff. Fun way to finish. Happy Monopoly Day, everybody. And happy Mountain Dew Day. All right. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. See y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you then. See ya.